Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays for those of you that celebrate it. This is my 4-month post-surgery update video. It's actually been 4.5 months, I guess. So in case you're new to my channel, I underwent a 4-level anterior cervical discectomy with fusion and cord decompression, spinal cord decompression at the C3 through C7 levels, and that was performed on August 10th of this year, 2022. So today's December 27th, so it's been right about 4.5 months. Those of you that have watched my previous videos and have followed along with my recovery, I just wanted to post an update. So before I forget, here's the scar. Everyone wants to see the scar. I'll zoom in on it. I noticed this morning that it was much less, even just compared to a few weeks ago, it was much less noticeable in the mirror. Maybe I just haven't been looking at it, honestly, for quite a while. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't care if it was even, really pronounced. It wouldn't bother me in the least bit. In fact, it makes for a good story. I told someone the other day, they asked me what happened, and I told them it was a shark bite swimming at the beach, and it's good. They're good for some chuckles, So first couple of weeks after clearance, so I got cleared at my 2-month follow-up. 7-week follow-up. I got cleared to do some cardio, play pickleball, lift weights, but reduced, but just see how you feel and then build back up kind of thing. So I did that. First couple weeks, boy, I felt very much out of shape, but I was able to get back in the gym and do all the activity I wanted to do. Most importantly though, the hard collar came off, thank goodness. That was really, really restrictive because you can't drive. In my state, at least, Pennsylvania, you can't drive legally with one of those things on. I can't imagine how you would drive in any state with one of those things on. But hey, for those of you that can do it, enjoy. So I believe I discussed in the last video that I tried playing golf couple days after that clearance. that was the only activity that caused any issues. It just wasn't pleasant, wasn't comfortable, and I haven't golfed since, and I don't plan on it until next year. I'm sure I could play right now, but at the time it was just too early, and swinging a golf club, it's more of a forceful movement than you would expect. So just suffice it to say, I felt lots of crunching sounding and then just pushing my bag, my golf bag. I didn't use a cart and never really used carts. Pushing my bag up the hills, and it was taxing. So but the swinging was tough. So I don't plan on doing it for a while, although I probably could do it fine now. I think it's best to wait. Probably maybe even a full year. I don't know. I'll know in the spring when I give it another shot. So about a month ago, I started doing, maybe a little over a month ago, I started doing a weekly yoga class that's, as strenuous as you want it to be. And that's gone well. The first couple of classes was tough, just because physically I wasn't used to it. My body had fallen out of that level of fitness. But the last 2-3 weeks, I guess now, that it's gone well, and I feel like I'm getting back. I'm learning how to do yoga poses again, given the new neck mobility limitation I have, which we'll talk about it towards the end of this video. Also, about 2 months ago, I started doing PT twice a week. That has basically cured all muscle stiffness. I had before that muscle stiffness in my neck and my upper shoulder there, upper back. That's all gone now. Felt like it was taking forever. Um, but that did it. I know there's a lot of controversy in the online around, is PT of any value for post-cervical fusion. A lot of people say it's a waste of time and money, and a lot of people say it's invaluable. I would say if you can afford it, if you're covered, and do it. And where it helped me was not in strength training or any of that. Or neck stretches. It's all kind of common sense, quite honestly. Where it helped me was when I would go in, they would apply heat and then follow that with either cupping, which is like a vacuum technique, or they would use a metal, they call it a knife, but obviously it's not sharp, but a piece of hard metal to work the back of my neck to get the knots out, get the tightness out, and then from there do movement exercises. That took longer, I'd say probably 5-6 weeks before it was a permanent, it had worked for good. Like it wasn't just a short-term thing, it worked its way through. Now whether it would have happened, if that tightness would have gone away just naturally, I don't know. But to me, it was worth going to PT, so I would recommend it. The PT I got assigned was just great, very positive, and I looked forward to, and still look forward to those sessions, and it's worth it to me. So this past week, well, I will say this: the past 2 months, been running around like crazy, playing lots of pickleball, which is, seems like every middle-aged and up person's obsession these days that's active. Yoga class, and just, living my life as much as I can, and pretty much can do everything I want to do right now. But I gotta tell you, the last 2 months, I was worried, am I overdoing it? I felt great, I felt fine, but I had in my, you can't see it, but you see this bump right here in my wrist. When I was around 20 years old, I had a surgery where they inserted a screw. And in my about 10 years ago, that screw worked its way out, and I didn't even realize it was floating just under the skin. So hardware can work its way out. So the last couple of months, although I was pushing myself, doing what I wanted to do, and I felt fine, and I was told that I'll be fine, and if something were to go wrong, I would know it. I did have in the back of my mind, the worry that, that could be causing some hardware shifting or, something like that. But this past week was my 4-month follow-up, and with my surgeon, fresh x-rays were taken and all's good. Fingers crossed, everything is gonna be great long-term. So far, so good. I'll show the x-rays on the screen here. I'll splice them into the video so you can take a look. You'll see that there's already a couple of the vertebrae are fusing together. There's a couple that's still not there yet. One of the videos I posted showed that the bone growth stimulator I had, it burns my neck, like literally circles, burn circles on my neck. I won't get into all of what happened there, but suffice to say, the company sent me water-based sensors, so they just kind of stuck onto your neck without like anything that might irritate my skin. Apparently the adhesive was water-based. After seeing my surgeon and not wearing it for 2 months, my neck had been fully healed, the burns were fully healed. My PT insisted, kept warning me, don't do that. Don't put that thing back on. She kept looking at the neck over the weeks and was like amazed how bad it was, the burns. My surgeon said, you know what, it would be helpful if you put it on because your middle I believe it was 4 or 5, is not as fused as the others. So, you know, it can't hurt to put it on if you want to give it another try. So I did 8 hours of it on, and you're supposed to be able to wear this thing 24/7. 8 hours and burn. I've got burns, which I won't show in this video. So no more bone growth stimulator. Not going to use it. It's not worth it. This is going to take probably 2 months to heal up. That's how bad it is. It doesn't hurt. It's just I feel very rough. The nasty spots in the back of my neck. So looking at my notes, number one question I get in the comments. So I'm cleared all activities except for like tackle football. There's no non-contact, but everything else I can do. There's nothing that I haven't been doing, quite frankly, for the last couple months that I want to do. I've been living my life for the last 2 months. Ever since I was released from the hard collar, I've been living my life as I see fit. Number one question I get in the comments and in some private messages is asking about neck mobility. I think that topic warrants, I know it warrants its own video, which I plan to publish here in definitely in January. I think I've given it enough time now where I've probably gotten all the mobility back that I'm going to get. So in that video, I'll show you the before and after clips of my neck mobility. Thankfully, I recorded the day before my surgery. I took a video. I don't know, that was my number one concern pre-surgery as well, right? So I grabbed my phone and propped it up on that desk back there and just recorded myself moving my neck up, down, left, right. So I want to recreate that, do it again post-surgery, the same angle, same lighting, same distance from the phone camera so that you can see a side by side. And then we'll be able to see. I'm curious, to be honest with you, I'm curious to see where I'm at. But I will say, as a preview to that, I have lost neck mobility. There's no getting around it. I have lost a little, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees of rotational. And so and that's really the only thing I notice now. That's it makes it tougher to drive. If when you go to look back without a backup camera, it would be really hard. But it's all doable. So and if you'd have told me months ago, pre-surgery or even post-surgery, the first month or so, if you would have told me that I'd be very active physically and all is good and no pain, no issues whatsoever, except for I have to shift my body a little to look back, to back up my car or to change lanes. If you'd have told me that was the trade-off, then I would have said, sign me up. Wish I'd have done it sooner, I guess. So that's it. That's the update. All is good. So if you're scheduled for or recovering from ACDF surgery yourself, I hope my recovery, which probably is pretty miraculous, probably ahead of schedule and all that. So keep that in perspective. But I do hope it brings you hope and optimism. I'm convinced that the walking that I did post surgery was really key. Forcing myself to walk every day was really important. And then, of course, pre-surgery, doing as much physical fitness, getting yourself in as good a shape as you can pre-surgery. Every bit of activity will help, even if it's just a short walk. It's really important. Any training, strength training you can do, it's going to make it that much better. I see unfortunately on the ACDF forums, all our groups on Facebook, people that, you know, they're afraid to take their hard collars off because when they do, their neck just falls over. I mean, that blows my mind. You know, it just wasn't an issue for me. Was my neck weakened? Yes, at first it was, but just general moving around, bending over, functioning, that was not an issue, and it shouldn't be. If you have the time, build yourself up before you get surgery, and that would be my advice. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them. Subscribe if you're interested in the next video, so you get notified when I post that in January, showing the neck mobility before and after, and you know, and I wish you the best. Happy holidays, and stay positive and take care.